When I first tried clamping a square part in my 3-jaw chuck, let's just say the lathe almost threw it at me. That was my wake-up call. If you want to do real work on a lathe, you absolutely need a 4-jaw chuck. Sure, a 3-jaw chuck is convenient. It grips round stock, hex stock, and best of all, it centers itself automatically. But here's the catch. Every time you remove and reclamp a workpiece, the concentricity is gone. Always. That's the curse of any self-centering chuck. The independent 4-jaw chuck is different. It takes more time, since you have to center the part manually with a dial indicator. But the reward is precision. You can restore concentricity even after flipping a part. And it doesn't stop there. A 4-jaw lets you hold square stock, rectangular stock, and even clamp something deliberately off-center. Want to cut a cam or drill an eccentric hole? Only a 4-jaw can do that. Yes, you can buy self-centering 4-jaws too, but honestly, they're just a lazy man's chuck. They can only handle symmetric work, and they lose concentricity just like a 3-jaw. Sounds great, right? Only one problem. My spindle has a 55mm shoulder, and the 4-jaw needs 72mm. Totally incompatible, which meant I had to build a custom backplate. I started with a 100mm steel blank held in a 3-jaw. First, I faced it off, then drilled and reamed the bore just over spindle size. Next came the important bit, cutting the shoulder to match the spindle. I cut it slightly undersized, tested the fit, too tight. Back on the lathe, shaved a fraction off. Still not there. Repeat, test, repeat. Until finally, the fit was so snug, the backplate held itself on the spindle without bolts. Perfect. With the blank fitting just right, I moved to the rotary table on the minimal. There, I drilled and tapped 4 spindle mounting holes while the part was still in the chuck, so concentricity was preserved. After that, I faced the front down to thickness and skimmed the outside diameter just enough to make it round. To make sure it always mounts in the same orientation, I added a tiny punch mark on the backplate. Just a quick reference so it lines up every time. From a rough chunk of steel to a precision backplate. It always amazes me how much a little lathe and mill can do. Now for the moment of truth. I bolted the backplate to the spindle and checked the run out. Just 0.05mm. On a mini lathe, that's good enough. To celebrate, I clamped a 100mm round, faced it off, and even took an outside cut. Suddenly, a mini lathe doesn't feel quite so mini anymore. So, if you are running a mini lathe with just a 3-jaw chuck, you are really missing out. A 4-jaw independent doesn't just expand what you can hold. It gives you accuracy, flexibility, and a whole new set of possibilities. Check out the next idea by clicking the link on screen. See you in the next project.